This is the iRacers Lounge, featuring the latest iRacing news, driver interviews, race reviews, opinions, discussions, rumors, and more. Now here's Alan Pajari and Mike Ellis.
6, 5.
Just go.
4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to iRacers Lounge. I'm your host, Alan Pajari. iRacers Lounge is a podcast for the iRacer, where we talk all things iRacing in a casual setting. All right, with me here we have Mike Ellis, we have Brian Kozer, Carlos Fonseca, and a newcomer, Brad Miller. So welcome, guys.
Hey.
Thank you.
Good to be here. All right, Brad. Since you're a newcomer here, got some questions here for you that I ask all the new guests. So when did you start sim racing?
I started sim racing with the very first Pappy game when it first came out. I'm guessing in the 90s.
When did you start iRacing then?
3 years ago. Well, about 3.5 years ago.
So you've been on it for a while. How often do you race, and what series do you normally race?
Normally, it's the trucks B and A, and mostly fixed, but I will do several opens.
Okay. What kind of equipment do you have?
I'll run a AMD 6-core processor, dual 7700 video cards, and I use a G25 wheel and a newly built race seat. Don't have any examples of it yet, but it's still in the process, but using it okay right now.
All right, so you're building a race seat on your own?
I am. It's kind of a combination of my old computer desk, a base, and a seat out of a real car.
Okay. Do you race in any leagues, Brad?
No, not really. I race with Team Cafosi, and that's pretty much it. Just the NIS series, open and fixed.
All right. So, Brad, what is probably your most memorable race moment that you've had on iRacing?
I think it was the first or second year, and it was, I think, the first year that they did the Brickyard 400. I was running third, and going into the last lap, I was third. Everybody started running out of fuel, and I passed first place in turn between 3 and 4 and won the race.
Oh, very nice. What's your most embarrassing moment that you've had on iRacing?
That was another win at New Hampshire a couple of weeks ago. Had fresh tires, and the guy had like, I don't know, 40 lap old tires. And we got together. I'm not saying it was my fault or his fault, but I could have passed him easily, but we got together and he wrecked and ended up like 16th, but he had led the whole race. And I had run second for, I don't know, over half of it. So, I mean, I was going to have a good finish, and I was really more mad that we got together than disappointed in myself or anything, but that was kind of good.
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember you saying that you hate to win that way. Yep. All right. Last Saturday, iRacing hosted a big race, which was the 24 Hours of Spa. A lot of people participated in that thing. And it was a very fun race. It was with the HPD and the GT3 cars. And it was interesting putting teams together and people running from at least Central Time, 8 a.m. on Saturday morning through 8 a.m. Sunday morning. And so it ended up being a long but very, very, very good race. And before we kind of discuss it here as a group, let me just name off the winners here of all the ones I have. In split one for the HPDs, Vortex Sim Racing HPD won. They won the HPDs. They were kind of a mixture of Europeans and on there. And in the GT3, there was a full racer, Coneda SimSport number 18. So I'm assuming that's kind of a large team there that they have. And there was a group of guys that won the GT3s out of there. In split two for the HPDs was guys from Iberia. They're called a BSR team. They had 9 guys on the team. And then the GT3 was Driving Revolution. In split 3 in the HPDs, we had OnlineSimRacing.de. That's basically 4 guys from Germany. One of them happens to be Stefan Walter, or Walter. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. I'm sure that, Mike, you remember that we've raced against him probably plenty of times in the NIS.
Yeah, he's a regular in the NIS, I believe.
Yep, and he also has a YouTube channel, and he does have his 4 hours of racing on there. And so it's can't remember exactly what the YouTube channel is. It's like the Warrior, but I'm happy for him that and his team that they won split 3 in the HPD, and in the GT3 was a team called Torrent Motorsports. In split 4, I'm sorry, I don't have the GT3 results, and I'll talk about the difficulties of pulling up the results here in a bit. But it was a team called Hugh, Jass.
Say that 3 times real fast.
I think that's a play on words there. And it's basically 4 guys from U.S. and 1 from Australia that ran that. So they won the HPD, so congratulations there. And from split 5, the HPD winners were Team Tifosi, guys. So
yay!
All U.S. based team. So congratulations to us, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And in split 6, it's HPD was Team Hard OCP, U.S. based team. Only 3 guys. I'm surprised that there was only 3 guys on that team, because you split that up. That's 8 hours apiece. That's a lot of driving. Man. And then the GT3 was Scuba Racing. So apparently, maybe they're fans of water-based sports there. So, let's talk about our 24-hour race, guys. We had on here right now who was in the race was myself, Mike, Jose, and Carlos. Plus, also on the team is Matt and John Starkweather, Jason K. Miller, and Colton Landis. And we had a pretty good race.
I'd say so. And you know what I just realized is, as you read that off, we're the only completely U.S.-based team that won an overall win there.
All right, good. How about that? So, Carlos, you started off in the car. How was it getting through that first part of that race?
Absolutely terrifying. That's all I could say. There's cars wrecking all over the place, mainly GT3s. That's all I can really say about it. I think I had a couple close calls at the beginning there. Almost had to go off track completely just to miss a thing.
Yeah, who stepped in the car next?
I think it was Mike.
Well, yeah, we were trading off, and Carlos did a great job to not get the car damaged at all, and so did I. And we got to a point where we were hunting the lead, or we're on the lead lap, and we were trying to stay on the lead lap, and we decided to make a call where Carlos would do a double shift and take over my shift. We were doing a trade-off just to get away from that driver change penalty. 12, 15 seconds. And but yeah, that first part of the race with the first 2 drivers went very well.
Yeah, around 4 p.m. Central Time, I think I saw Colton get involved in something. Someone want to talk about that?
Yeah, Jose, you kept a lot of notes and details about that. You want to talk about that part of the race?
Sure, not a problem. Yeah, after the stint from Mike Ellis and Carlos, Colton took over for a while, approximately about an hour. Unfortunately, Colton was able to do very well in the beginning. He was running very fast, probably one of our fastest guys, along with Matt, and he was passing cars left and right. Unfortunately, came into a point. I'm not sure exactly which lap it was, but he attempted to pass a BMW a little bit too close, in my personal opinion, not giving himself room for error. Unfortunately, the error did happen, and the BMW ended up hitting Carlos in the rear, causing Colton, I'm sorry, causing severe damage to the car. Well, not severe damage. A point, it was approximately about I think it was 8 minutes or so of repair.
The whole front end visually was knocked off.
It's gone, yeah. The whole front was knocked off. I think he had actually 2 incidents, one with another GT3. I'm not sure exactly what that hit him in the inside of the vehicle, on the side of the vehicle, which made him lose a little speed. But yes, he was still fast. And then, of course, the second incident with that BMW that eliminated the front. And we were able to get that car repaired, get back we were about 8 laps down at that time.
And I believe we were up by a lap over the second place car at that time that happened.
That is correct. We were actually leading for a little while there. We actually switched off leading. I switched off with Colton, I'm sorry, and we were in the lead. I was able to hold the lead for a little while. Actually, I held the lead for my whole full hour and returned the car back in the lead lap. Again, that's when Colton got back on, and the second incident happened with the BMW that ended up eliminating our front end for a while. Eventually, we got that repaired. 8 laps down, we were able to continue the race, handing off the car back and forth between Colton and myself for the next 6 hours, I believe it was. We did have an issue within the stint that iRacing was not able to allow people back into the server for some reason. There was some sort of glitch, and people could not get back in, so I was forced to run my last hour as a 2-hour stint instead. I was able to hold ground and not lose any additional laps, giving my car to the next driver in line, who was John Starkweather. And he actually did very, very well. And
he was fast too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was very, very fast and was able to regain a lap or two before he passed the car off to the next gentleman that had to drive.
All right, and just to let everyone know that maybe did not suffer from it, but what it was is sometime during the evening, U.S. time, there was anybody that was not currently in the server that was just trying to join the race. It would tell them updates required when there was no updates to download, and so they were stuck outside of it. No one can get in there for a while, and it was good that iRacing was at least watching and listening, because someone ended up fixing the issue quite quickly, and then that allowed people to get in.
Yeah, Alan, I was going to say kudos there too, because a year ago, getting iRacing to make a fix on the weekend just didn't happen.
Yeah, and this was a big event for them, so it would have been pretty bad if it would have been cut out basically 12 hours after the race. Because I know that, when I joined, I was afraid to get back out again. At the time, I think it was just Matt Starkweather and Jose that were in the server at the time, and you guys would have finished it out.
Oh yeah, we were dedicated and willing to continue. I mean, it was an additional 16 hours of racing to be done when this happened. We were a little afraid about it. I don't know how long we were able to last between both of us. But we were willing to give it a try if push came to shove. I was so happy when I saw one of the first names come in. I think it was actually you, Alan. I think was one of the first names I saw pop in that connected on our team. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad somebody came and was able to relieve us.
Yep. Yeah, I actually got in about 8 p.m. Central Time and hung in there through to 8 a.m. So so that was kind of fun. But I'll talk a little bit about the night. Junior and I, or Jason, we took over probably about 10 p.m. Central. Does that sound about right? I think.
Yeah, that's approximately correct.
Yep. And we drove about 6 hours altogether, and we were doing pretty good, kind of holding our own. Then there was a time where the leader, who was 8 laps ahead of us at that time, 8 laps, wow, and he just had a spin in the carousel, but wasn't able to get off the track fast enough, and there was another HPD that came and T-boned him pretty good. And so when he was sitting in the pits, I was in second place at the time when I was racing, and I was looking, and Junior gets on the thing. Oh, the leader he's in the pits, he's in the pits, and so I was trying to make up lap after lap and try to take the lead there. When I got hit by a car, a GT3 behind me in the pretty much the same spot that Colton got hit, going into turn 1, and. What happened was that he went low and I stayed high. He was actually letting me go. But then after I passed him, he went right behind me. And at that time, we didn't have any brake lights on the back of our car. And I kind of wonder if that kind of threw things off on him on when exactly do I need to brake. I'm actually a little surprised that he was going as fast as he was going at that time. But I got hit and got pushed into the wall a little bit and wasn't able to take that lead. And then at that time, the third place car came and caught us and took over second place. And so we were running basically with the second place car, and we were in third for up until about 4 a.m. And when Matt Starkweather came in, and he goes, "Do you guys need a break?" And be honest with you, at that time, me and Junior, we were so tired. we were so tired. Now, I know I planned to sleep late on Saturday, and so I could be kind of in decent condition overnight, but that didn't really work out for me. I woke up at, my usual time around 7:30 in the morning, and I was up all day. I really couldn't even take a nap. And so we were just so stinking tired that night. And when Matt says, you guys need a break, basically we handed the car off to Matt, and Matt took the final 4 hours. And at that time, the leader who was missing their back end completely. The only thing they had was a wing. Their back end was gone. They were traveling around 119s. Which is pretty slow for the HPDs. And, they were probably just trying to, come on car, you can make it. And Matt was traveling around 111s, 112s. And the second place car was a little bit slower than Matt. So Matt was catching up to him. By the way, fantastic battle between Matt and the second place car. They were battling just, great. And then what happened to the leader was he blew his engine. It took him a while, and so he blew his engine probably about 2 hours left.
Do you think they were running around with optional damage as they didn't get fixed, or?
No, I think it was they probably fixed the optional, but eventually the thing was going to blow sometime.
Right.
And so when it did blow, that had the opportunity for second place. Now the first place car and Matt. Again, that was just a fantastic battle. Probably about an hour and 45 minutes left. Matt took his pit stop, and then the car that was in first place took the pit stop 1 lap later, came out of the pits 5 seconds behind Matt. So at that time, Matt had the lead. And I think that car was just trying to push it up or push it a little too hard when they were coming up the hill. El Rouge, I think it's called. When they were kind of coming up the hill, they just lost it and hit the wall. And then basically Matt just had to just keep it clean. Yeah, bring it home, keep it clean for the rest of the race. And it was great. It was great watching. You know, it was me and Junior were talking about it. If we're in first place, you know, at a certain time, we can't go to bed. You know, and that was it. We couldn't go to bed.
Oh yeah. I was surprised. I think I talked to you guys at 10:30 Pacific before I went to bed, and at that point we were like you said, 8 laps down, and I wasn't expecting much. But boy, in the morning to hear that we won, I was frankly a little surprised.
I know I was going to get up at 9 and, you know, to see the results, and I said, screw it, I wanted to sleep. So that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, Carlos, you came popping in a couple times early in the morning, around 1 and 2 in the morning. And then Jose came in before the race was done, so Jose got to see the end of the race.
Yes, I was very, very happy to see Matt leading the race there.
Well, it sounds like a great team effort. Lots of sacrifice, especially you guys through the middle of the night. Appreciate that. And Matt doing that 4-hour stint at the end and actually bringing it home. Great job.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. And Matt's father, Dave, he was also in the server and asked Matt, you know, hey, you want me to take over for an hour or something like that? And Matt's just like, no, I got it. And so, yeah, he did a great job those last 4 hours. That's what I have to say. And he was probably about a couple seconds faster than Junior and I were running in the middle of the night. So it was a good closer, as in a baseball term. He was Mariano Rivera there. So he did pretty good.
Not only that, Matt I can say pretty much spent the majority of the 24 hours with us on the TeamSpeak server, as well as inside the server itself, ready to drive at any given time. Especially like when we had the glitch that nobody was able to rejoin the server, Matt was available, and I felt good because of that. At least there was somebody that was there to back us up when we needed it, and I'm very happy to have Matt represent us here.
Let's talk real quick about how many drivers it takes to do a 24-hour race. I mean, we just detailed out with 8 guys, you know, a lot of challenges and stuff that go along with 8 guys. But man, you look at the top 6 split winners. The first split was 4 guys. Second split was 9. Third split was 4. 5 guys and 3 guys. Man, I can't imagine trying to pull this race off with 3 to 5 guys.
No, 8 hours of driving if with 3 guys. I mean, that's if you split it evenly. That's a lot. That's a lot of driving.
And there's no margin for error, you know. And like Jose said, we had an issue with the where you couldn't get in the server, you know, and we had extra team members around for stuff like that, so it worked out.
Yep. You know, but I would do the same thing in the future. I would have enough people there. So even if you had a couple guys that are just on standby or type of thing, I think you have to have plenty. And plus, I don't know, it's kind of enjoyable when there's a lot of guys, you know.
Yeah, it was a great fun. I'm really happy that our particular team, Tifosi Racing, is such a good record right now in this Road Warrior series. So this win really cements that.
Yep, it was pretty good. So anyway, I want to throw out the congratulations for all the teams that finished the race, and it was a long race. So congratulations for everyone to stick it out, and no matter where you finished, I'm sure you guys had a lot of fun in this team racing event here at Spa, which to me is my second favorite road track there is. So. I love the venue, and it was a lot of fun. So congratulations to all the people that finished the race.
Yeah, I want to say kudos to iRacing for getting that problem fixed so quickly and really saving the day. They did a great job at considering it was a Saturday.
I also want to mention that even though we as Tifosi won our sector of our race, it wasn't without the help of two other teams that definitely need to be mentioned. Team One Up, which consists, of course, of Alan Jr., and of course Colton. Let me not forget. And of course the team Cuckoo's Nest, which consists of Mark, Matt, John, and Dave Starkweathers. Definitely need to mention that great uniting these teams together, and definitely did a great job.
Yep, it was good. It was good putting them together. Want to mention that the next Road Warrior event is August 28th through 31st. There's going to be 4 races. It's going to be in the Williams F1 car at Spa again for 44 laps. It's called the Spa Grand Prix. Anyone plan to race that?
Yes, I probably would. I did that I think it was last season, which at that time, we didn't have the 24 hours but I think they had the 2.4 or something like that.
Yep. Mike, you gonna jump in the F1 car?
I don't even own that car, so probably not.
Yeah, I don't own it either. When they come out with the McLaren F1, I'm gonna get that. And
I do intend to get that the new one, but there's no point in buying that real old F1 car.
Yeah. And then after that, September 4th will be the Trucks in Canada, which I know Carlos is really looking forward to.
I have that, so.
They're not a beast you'll wrangle around that track.
Yep, and then they're going to bring the Williams F1 car again to Monza on September 11th. So I'm going to miss that one too. And then the Petit Le Mans at Road Atlanta, which is going to be our next team event, guys, for 394 laps at Road Atlanta. So, and that's going to be with the GT3 cars again in the HPD. So everyone get prepared for that.
Bring it.
Yep, and then after that, the last Road Warrior event will be the Bathurst 1000, October 17th, which is going to be 161 laps around one of my favorite road tracks, Mount Panorama, Bathurst.
Now that'll be some attrition there.
That's going to be an awesome race, but terrifying.
Yeah, the reason why I love that track, well, first of all, it's a nice track, but you know, someone like me who just tries to take it easy, not hit anything, I normally do pretty well at this track.
Can you imagine the first lap? I mean, can you say starting from the pits?
I normally start from the pits at Bathurst, yeah. Because you know, coming up the hill isn't that difficult. It's coming down the hill.
Oh yeah, it'll block up quick, won't it? It
will block up quick. So the reason why I start from the pits is because I really don't want to be in the mess on the first lap. You know, I really don't mind being around a car or two, coming through those areas. But you know, on the first lap it's a mess. So I'm actually looking forward to this event. Every once in a while I jump in the V8 and I practice around it. I don't normally run the V8 car, so it should be fun.
Oh, it's in the V8 car. I don't have that car.
Yeah, the Holden and the Ford Falcon V8 supercars. So yeah. that's what the Bathurst 1000 is normally run. And
yeah, and I like that track too.
I do like that track. I don't have that car, but I might have to buy it just for that.
Yeah, I gotta consider it.
Yep. So that's pretty good. So, anyways, that wraps up our Road Warrior in the Spa race. So, let's move on to NIS. And last week, as you guys know, since I dropped off the podcast here, I was having internet problems, and I saved all my bandwidth usage. By the way, I just want to say this: I was in the Spa for 12 hours, and I used 2 gigabytes of data.
Wow.
Ouch. Big bill.
Really? Yeah, no, it really wasn't that bad. I mean, you know, we were still under our threshold for actually having to pay more, but I didn't think it was too bad. I was really worried it was going to be real higher
You know,
than
this
that.
seems like that's a lot for a locally installed game.
Oh, it's a lot of data passing back and forth.
I guess there is. Wow. I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah. But, 12 hours and only 2 gigs. And I had trading paints turned off, so I wasn't downloading anybody's paints or anything like that. So, I was trying to keep it at a minimum possible. But once I connected in, like Jose said, with those problems, I didn't want to get out. So I just stayed in. And 12 hours, 2 gigs. Wasn't too bad. So, saying that, I didn't run Pocono. So how'd you guys do?
I'll jump in here. I did awesome. I had 2 top 10s. I had a 9th in the open and a 2nd in fixed. And I almost won that race. I mean, I was 4 feet away from winning that. I was 4th on a restart, late restart, and the leaders spun his tires and managed to get around him. But the 3rd place car actually beat me to the line. So, but really good points, 215 championship points. So I'm very pleased with that race.
I'm in the same boat that Mike was in that same day, getting a 2nd, and had a, chance for a win, but screwed up a restart, had like 30 laps on my right side tires because a stupid pit mistake caused me to just have my left side checked. So last part of that race was on left side tires and somehow got 2nd. And if I would have got beaten the leader down into 1, I probably could have won that race.
All right. Brad?
Yeah, I had a 10th and a 5th or a 6th, 1 of the 2. Can't remember. But overall, pretty good.
And Brad, I was in a race with you, and I believe you had a spin off 3 into pit road.
Yeah, I pulled a Casey Kane.
A Casey Kane, that's what we're calling it. Yeah, I bring that up because NASCAR was talking about reconfiguring the track because they had a couple real-life incidents there. Casey Kane, Jeb Burton as well during practice spun their car off 3 right into the pit lane and hitting the wall and not getting anybody hurt, thankfully. But it sounds like they're going to reconfigure the track, and I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think they're going to do? I kind of think they're going to have a pit entry road there on that little backstretch between 2 and 3.
I saw during the pre-race, I think they were talking just about Jeb Burton's wreck, that they were going to extend the pit wall on down closer to turn 3 and move the pit boxes. There's like 4 of them not used at the front at pit exit. So they're going to move them down and move the wall back toward 3 and move the pit boxes toward turn 1. That way, if you came in there at a bad angle, you wouldn't be hitting anywhere where a pit crew would be.
Right. Well, and isn't it there a curse that every time iRacing scans a track that the track goes and changes? I think we're still awaiting a Pocono update. They had rescanned it, and there's been changes since.
Yeah. I don't know. I just want it smoother, not as bumpy.
And now they have this new pit wall extension, that won't be in the scan, obviously.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I just don't want it as bumpy. I don't know. I feel bad. I missed Pocono in the integrity race. I actually had a pretty good race, and I normally do okay at Pocono, except for the spring race. But I feel bad I missed it. Jose, did we hear from you on how you did?
I did not do too well at all. I have been having some bad luck the past few weeks, actually. I'm hoping things turn around for me at Watkins Glen. I actually, the last race at Pocono, I believe I did very well. I came in 6th, which was Sunday night. And then I followed yesterday with a 7th at Watkins Glen. So hopefully things are looking up. But like I said, I've been having really, really bad luck for the past several weeks.
All right, let's talk about Watkins Glen. That's where we just had the Wednesday night race, and tonight we're going to have the fixed race. So, Carlos, second split, win. Tell us about it.
Win.
I don't know. It was pretty hard to work for that because of the fact that the guy behind me, you had to save fuel if you're going to make it on 2 stops. And, trying to do that with a guy running right behind you half the race. And, you try to save fuel and he runs up to you and you have to, pick it up or he's going to get by you. And then he can manage the pace of the race, It's much easier when you're out front, but yeah, pretty interesting race. Not many people crashed or wrecked out. And probably I don't know what else to say about this. I went from a 3-stop strategy to 2 because I figured, hey, you can save fuel, why not go for it? And at one point in the race, I was sure, I was in great shape because I saw the leader hit something. He spun the car in the bus stop. And I said, oh, look at that, the leader wrecked. And this race is mine. And the next thing I know, like 10, 15 laps later, that guy pops up in my relative. And oh crap, I had to push again. He just messed up his pit strategy bad. I just saw him come down pit road 3 laps before the window, and it's just, you're not going to make it on 2 if you do that. And it showed. He made it work on 2, though, but his pace slowed down so bad that it pretty much gave me no challenge at all. So I was able to pull away and, well, secure that victory.
Yeah, and you know what I like about this win, Carlos, and why I'm so proud of you is this really demonstrates good racecraft, good strategy. You had the fuel thing figured out. You knew how to stretch it to exactly where you needed to go. Great work.
Actually, I was spending most of that race trying to figure out, do I have to save this much or this much? And just, I don't know, randomly figuring things out. I had a lap and a half left in the tank.
Well, it's always good to have teammates on TeamSpeak to kind of coach you through that, and talk about what kind of mileage am I getting compared to what you're getting, that kind of thing.
Yep.
All right, and Mike, you were in the top split. By the way, congratulations to Michael Connie. Dominated that race. He did start in the pits, just to let you guys know. There was a large crash in turn 1 that Jay Heischman posted up
That was a smart
in the
move,
forums and Facebook, and so a few cars got taken out. Mike, how'd you do?
I was in that. I was right in the middle of it. If you look, some guy took out Hoyt Smith. It was lap 1. He was pushing Hoyt up through the S's, like literally on his bumper. And Hoyt had nowhere to go. The guy turned him. And I, hit the brakes, and I kind of nosed it in there, and then somebody got my rear end. But it was enough for, damages, and I had to go to pit road, and I lost 2 laps right off the bat. So, kudos to Conti. Yeah, he lapped me several times. He never put a wheel wrong, and he dominated that race. He's a great driver. And I had a good opportunity that was squandered. It was car 31, which I just love getting that draw, but was not able to finish. I think I finished 25th or something. So looking forward to tonight and not getting wrecked.
Yeah. Anybody else run last night?
Yeah, I was in the same split with Carlos. Didn't know it till later on today. I was mid-pack, and then fella spun. I slowed down to get around him, got around him, and then I gassed it up, and then I spun and just trashed it. So I finished dead last. Carlos won. Well, we had him covered.
Bookends.
Top and bottom, eh?
All right. So it seems like the pit strategy there is just to make it a 2-stop race, but you have to save fuel to be able to accomplish that. In fact, so Carlos, how did you save fuel last night?
For one, I was shifting to 4th as I'm going through the S's, right in the middle, and I usually shift to 4th coming out of the S's. And I don't know, there's times I'll just letting out the throttle much earlier than I normally would, and slowly picking it up, as most people refer to the term of, pretend there's an egg underneath your throttle. That's pretty much really not much you can really do to save fuel while still trying to keep pace. But, stuff like that, let off early.
Right, yeah, it's, I know saving fuel is difficult. I was watching one of my teammates last night, and we were, in the TeamSpeak, and he finished 6th last night, but he he was not saving fuel in the first 2 runs, and then the last run he definitely had to save it. So he was clutching. He was changing where he shifted. He was doing everything he could. He was still running decent lap times because he's fast, but yeah, it was interesting to see on how different people save fuel.
Last year the same race, so I was actually shutting the car off going into like downhill sections, like turn 1. I was giving up too much time. By the time you kick everything back in, then release the clutch is just really dangerous. So there's one technique you can try, but I don't recommend it.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to today, this afternoon, I was working on a 2-pit strategy with the fixed setup, which I think is a little bit more difficult than with the open setup. So I was working on a strategy that would also give me some speed. And tonight is also going to be the first time I'm going to use iFuel Watcher, one of Mike's favorite programs.
Yeah, notice what I've noticed about that is it's aggressive. So whatever number it says is the max, just knock a couple off of it and you'll be right on.
Yep, I was using it in practice, and yeah, seeing how correct it is, and and comparing it with what iRacing was showing, and yeah, it showed you that you had a little bit more than probably what you did. But I'm going to have it up so I don't have to be watching that fuel all the time, though, and switching over to that black box. So, but yeah, tonight's going to be the first time I try running that. So I'm gonna go ahead.
I was going to say the beauty of that program is when you're on your last run to the finish, they have the little gauge that looks like a gas gauge, and if it's in the red, you're not going to make it. If it's in the green, you're going to make it. And if it says 1, that's a lap, 1 lap. Like you're 1 lap to the good or you're 1 lap short. And you can watch that gauge as you go through that fuel run, as you're saving fuel, and you can see it getting closer to 0. Oh, yeah, I am saving fuel. Or if you see it getting away from 0, you realize, you know what, I'm not saving enough fuel. I need to back off even more. So it's very valuable to be in those situations, and might come in useful tonight.
Yep. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. So, but my normal race runs are about 27 laps. So to stretch it to 30 is going to be challenging for me. But at least if I don't make it, I'm just going to do a short gas and go type of situation at the end. So, or I should say, hopefully I got a car at the end to be able to try that.
Right.
All right. Tuesday night, Alan Bowes won the B Open race that was on PSR TV. So congratulations to him.
And he's won last week too, so I believe that's 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, he's pretty good. So I believe Brian was in a race with Alan Bowes earlier, I think Monday night. And unfortunately, Brian's muted right now, but he can't really talk about it. But yeah, Bowes is good. I think we all know that.
Well, obviously on the road. I mean, we've seen him win on the oval, but obviously winning at Watkins Glen demonstrates, yeah.
Yep. And also today in the Blancpain GT Endurance forum, they put in there that they're going to be moving the teams where you can have 4 or 5 drivers per team on that endurance team that's going to be running for the championship. So for season 4 here, they're going to start the qualifying season to be able to get into this new pro league, pro series, which is the endurance championship, and you can have 4 or 5. They haven't decided which ones yet, but a minimum 2 has to run that race. So any of you guys planning on putting a team together to run that endurance series?
Yeah, I mean, we got some internal team discussions already going on this. The rule was 2 or 3 drivers a team, and like you said, they just changed it to 4 to 5 now. Which really suits us better because It's a big commitment if it was only, you have to run every event. But if there's 5 drivers that can run all the events and you only need 2 per event, then that kind of leaves some room for scheduling, and not everyone has to race every event. So I like it. I think we're trying to put it together at least an effort for 1 car, maybe 2.
Right. As you know, I've been running the endurance series with Junior here. And he was actually telling me last night that, he's a big Auburn football fan, and they run these things on Saturdays. And he was saying, well, you know what, if Auburn's going to be playing, I don't know if I'm going to be racing. So
right.
This might give us some leeway here that we probably would need if Auburn's playing. So I'm actually happy to see that they moved that up, and looking forward to the championship. Now I don't have any designs to make pro, but at least
we're gonna make them. We're gonna make them earn it, though. That's the thing. We're not there to take the pro, but we're gonna make those guys earn
make them earn it.
Well, I won't be in their splits.
I'll try.
Yeah.
so I won't make them earn it, but it's a fun thing to race.
Yep.
There's no iRating stuff on it. There is safety rating, but there's no iRating, and so it's a very fun thing to race. And if you enjoy team racing, you don't have to wait for road warrior events. You can do this every week, and to me it's a blast.
Now let's remind everybody, what does this lead to if you do well? I mean, you said go pro, but so is this a new pro thing?
Yeah, and I think we announced it maybe about a month ago about the Blomkamp GT Endurance Championship that iRacing, where they
for next year.
Yeah, made a deal so it's going to be season 1, 2016, that they're going to have a pro series.
Right. So you can earn a pro license in the endurance series and win cash prizes or something, I believe, too.
Yeah, there's several different prizes that they're going to have. I doubt if it's going to be that $10,000 thing, because obviously it's the team race here. But it is a pro series, so they're going to take the top 40 teams from season 4, and so it should be fun. So, like I said, I know I don't have any designs to make the top 40 teams, because you're going to have all the good racers coming out for this. But I'm kind of hoping that they have it at the same time as the Grand Prix Championship, so maybe we can at least take some black stripers out of here for this other one here.
There you go. And no Nürburgring will be in that season 4, is what I've heard.
Yep, won't be completed. Tony Gardner mentioned that in one of the things where people were planning out their schedules for season 4, and he said don't plan to have Nürburgring in there because it won't be completed yet. So, yep, that's going to be a little bit of a longer wait, which is too bad, because I'm looking forward to that track. But we'll see when it comes out. And Mike, the next one you put on that you found, that iRacing is going to be on a real TV broadcast in the UK.
It is. Yeah, just announced yesterday. BSR and Apex Racing TV have some kind of agreement with Motors TV UK to nationally televise in the UK the final 19 races of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Pro Series season. Now, I've never even heard of this before this article by Andy Woodhouse. Yeah, so, and interestingly, they're going to be on national TV. There's a $10,000 prize fund. They're going to have hour-long highlight package that will air each week, featuring action from all 3 of the races with commentary. So they're not broadcasting the actual races, but I think it's a highlights package of the races.
Okay.
And wow, I my reaction is, this is great. I love to see, sim racing come mainstream. You put it on broadcast TV where the general population can see it. Boy, that's just good news all the way around.
It is, and there's a few streamers and stuff that broadcast their in-car in the BSR league, which happens to be a fantastic league, by the way. They got some real good ones. They race the Kias around, and they race basically 3 short races, and there's a bunch of cars out there. It's wild, wild stuff, but it's a fun watch. So I'm sure the people that are watching on the regular TV in the UK are going to be seeing a show that they've never seen before of sim racers out there racing the cars. And be honest with you, if you're someone that enjoys watching racing on TV, watching sim racing to me is not much different, you know?
It's not really.
As long as they get your names right. You know,
Yeah,
announcers.
Fonseca.
Well, yeah, you got to have a good production to enjoy it, but a good production team can really simulate, real racing, what you would watch in real racing. And of course, we know the racing is similar because iRacing is such a sim, as far as matching up to real world.
Yeah. Plus, I think it's a great way for iRacing to be out there and get more people into it, more racers in there. It's only good for all of us. The more racers that they are into the sim, that means that there's going to be more splits in the series that you run. The series are every series hopefully will have people in it, so you're not struggling to find official races or anything like that. So the more there is, the better there is, and the more it could be promoted, the better. And just being on TV in the UK at least is a start, and hopefully it would be on here. I mean, like, we got like Speed Channel or whatever it is, FS2, FS3, they can definitely show some sim racing, and I'm sure people would watch.
Growth is important to everyone, I think, because we already have heard, from Tony Gardner that they're investing their profit back into the product. So the more people that get signed up, the better, because that's just going to make the sim better. They're going to hire more people. They're going to, improve it even faster than they are now. And it's a snowball effect. So kudos to whoever put this deal together and whoever put up the $10,000 prize fund. I'm kind of curious to see how this shakes out.
Yep, should be fun. All right, and next thing we have on the list is a little tidbit came out in the forum from David Tucker about Dave. You think that's David, or is it just another Dave?
No, I think he's referring to Dave Kramer, the founder of iRacing.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he'd be programming here. So he does the tires programming. So he works on the tire model. And anyway, I was in the forums and came across this quote, and I thought it was kind of neat, so I'm going to read it. Dave is working on flat spots. I don't know when it will go to members, but I've heard good things about it. I think it's all tied together with the marbles and track heat work, so expect a rather large update at some point in the future. And obviously he's talking about flat spotting of the tires and how that's going to interact with the new dynamic track model. So interesting. It is. Next thing we have on the list is the Joel real timing, which I know you guys, and especially you, Mike, you used it during the 24-hour. Matter of fact, a lot of people were posting on Facebook how their team was doing during the 24-hour, and a lot of the posting and pictures you saw was from the Joel real timing software. So why don't you explain a little bit about it to us?
Yeah, I found it just before the spa race, and it's been all over the forums and Facebook. You can find it at Joel, Joel, real timing at Facebook. And it's just a little software program that you run a server on your iRacing machine, and then on any network device that's on the same network, like another laptop, iPad, iPhone, whatever, you can run the scoring. And it's basically Formula One style scoring with lots of columns that show all kinds of information. How many pit stops? When'd you last pit? How many laps on this run? Fastest lap? Last lap? gaps, front and back. And then it color changes, red and green as people cycle up through the grid as they push forward and pass cars. Or if you're getting past, you'll see yourself drop down and it turns red and that kind of thing. So as you're driving, you can kind of see it out of the corner of your eye and keep up with certain things during the race. And I found it really good, and it's one of my regulars now, and I'm running it for every race.
All right. And that would be good for just a fourth screen, or can you also run it through like HTTP when you're running it on just on?
I'm actually running it on a second computer on my network, so you can do it on a fourth screen or on a separate device as long as that's on your same Wi-Fi or your house network or whatever.
Right. Okay. Mike, the next topic is yours.
Well, we're going to jump into hardware stuff. I found something on the I don't know where I found this, but it's fasttracksims.com. It's a cool shirt, t-shirt, and it's a water-cooled t-shirt, and it's got like hoses sewn into the shirt that cycle water, cold water, from this other device that, obviously pumps the water. And it's like a real cool suit that real NASCAR drivers use and that kind of thing. But it's made by this fasttracksims.com, and it's for the sim racer. I've never seen such a thing. I thought it was kind of funny. I kind of laughed at it. Do you guys need this? Jose, you're always saying you're hot.
I think, Brad?
Well, I tell you what, if I'm running in the back and everything, I'm fine. But you get me in the top 10 late in the race, and I will finish, and my wife will come up and ask me how I did and touch my head, and she goes, "Oh, that's gross," because I'm over here sweating like a pig.
Maybe you need it.
I don't see me doing it, but maybe I do need it, but I probably won't do it.
Yeah, see, I got two thoughts of that. One is I'm fat enough.
You're sweating off the calories, right?
And two is I'm in my unfinished basement up here in Minnesota. I don't have any problems with the heat. Yeah, so but yeah, I think I don't know. Maybe someone will get it, but I guess if I'm still hot, I'll put an ice pack in my shirt like the real NASCAR guys do.
Yeah, so I kind of had to laugh at that one. Next up, we had just a couple of real racing crossovers again with iRacing. This time it was the 2014 Blank Paint Endurance and GT Series champion Lawrence Vantour talking about iRacing, and he basically says, quote, "I'm not saying iRacing is the reason I won at Brands Hatch and Zolder. It may just be a coincidence, but the fact is that I practiced Brands Hatch on iRacing for the month before the race, then competed with my brother in private sim races where we tried our best to beat each other, and on the race weekend I won the pole, set a lap record, and won the race. So for sure it helps." So huge endorsement there from a real world driver. Another endorsement came out in the podcast I listened to called Indy Sports Car Podcast. They talk at IndyCar and sports car real racing. And there was an interview with a up-and-coming Formula 3 driver, Parker Thompson, and he also indicated he prepares for all the races using iRacing, specifically Laguna Seca was the one he's been working on recently. So, again, lots of crossover to the real world.
Yeah, I think we've been actually hearing this for years from drivers. Like we've heard in the NASCAR days, or a long time ago, about guys that would race on tracks that they'd never been on, or just get more familiar with everything. It wasn't only iRacing, but it was the old Pappers games too. One, especially when you heard about Dale Earnhardt Jr. and stuff. racing, and for some reason I'm forgetting the guy that drives the FedEx number 11 car. Who's that?
Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin. Yep, Denny Hamlin was one of those earlier sim racers too. So.
Oh, isn't that where he learned Pocono?
Yep, that is where he learned Pocono. So I mean, this will be around, and I'm sure many racers are taking advantage of the things that we have today, where it's so realistic.
I think Brandon McReynolds talked about it, gave it kudos. I think he won the East-West Challenge there the other week at Iowa.
Yep.
All right. iRacing put up a new promo video, which is our next topic. So it's just a promo of all their different series and all the different cars and stuff like that you can run. But I think the reason why we have it on here because it was real nice production. Is that correct there, Mike?
Yeah, you know, when you look at these things on your iPhone, they all look the same, you know, kind of thing. And for whatever reason, I've watched this full screen on my triples with the sound turned up, and I was like, wow, this looks great. And it really seems to me they've stepped up their video production. This is like a full-blown iRacing commercial is what it is. And I just thought I'd point it out. They put it out a couple days ago. Share it with your friends and family. Help spread the word.
Yeah.
I shared it on my page.
Yeah, Mike, why don't you, since we're rolling into more hardware, why don't you just kind of take over and talk about a lot of these hardware things?
Yeah, all right, let's cruise on here. We have one more topic before we get to the hardware stuff. Just real quick, we talked about last week the GoFundMe and the people asking for money on the forums. And we had quite a discussion about that last week. But this week I find another forum thread, another GoFundMe. This time the dad, I'm like, oh no, here we go again. The dad wants iRacing community to buy his 13-year-old son a Glock pistol for his birthday. And yeah, a few people who responded to the thread thought it was legit and such, but turns out it was actually a prank. The guy was trying to prank everybody based on, you know, everybody asking for money on the forums, but
right.
Kind of funny.
And couldn't people tell just by the subject that it was a prank?
I don't know. What was the actual subject of the thread?
He needs help buying his son a 13.
Yeah,
his 13
gift for my son's 13th birthday. So yeah, I don't know.
So as soon as I saw it, I knew it was a joke. You know, I mean, a gun. So anyway,
all right, moving on. We're going to hit a bunch of things that we found in the forums here. First off, how many of you guys know that you can paint the driver's face, your iRacer driver? Now, Alan, you said that's been known for quite some time, but I've been around 3 years. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, actually, the post in here is from 2012. I remember when I was first looking up on painting suits and stuff, I came across where you can actually paint the face, or basically import a picture yourself, and in one of the templates that is actually part of some of the templates that you can download, not exactly iRacing, but what people post in the forums. One of the templates for the helmet, it actually has a skeleton face in there. And so, yeah, it's I'm sure a lot of people don't know about it, but it's been around for a while.
Well, thought I'd throw that out there so people would know. Yeah, I might have to look at that. I didn't know about that. We talked about the last week. The main performance PC is doing a Butto group buy, and are trying to put together a bunch of people to basically get a group discount on the buy of Obutto cockpits. And the news is yes, they are proceeding, and those cockpits are at quite a discount. So if you're interested, be sure to check that out. Staying with cockpits, there was another post. Basically, if you're building your own, and Brad, I know that you're kind of tinkering with that a little bit. You sent me some pictures, but there's a post that's called 80/20 Cockpit, and it's a build your own system. He basically provides you the images, the videos, and the plans of how to actually put it together. So 80/20 is that metal stuff that you can screw together with machine screws. It's really solid, silver looking.
It's like a large erector set.
Right.
For men.
And if I was starting over and wanting a cockpit, I'd certainly be looking at this 80/20 stuff. What do you think, Brad?
It would be really good if you had the stuff and it was already pre-cut and all you had to do was put it together. But if it's metal, I don't have the capability to start cutting metal and stuff like that, fabricate it. That's why I went with wood, and I got most of my ideas and thoughts from watching videos on YouTube on people that had done them. I mean, I saw some that I really wanted, but I thought, that's out of my league. And then I saw some others that I said, I can do that and a little better.
Yeah, let me add though on the 80/20 thing is in the forum there's actually cockpit plans, and you order these things, they're pre-cut and everything. It's just up to you to put together. So, and like I said, it's kind of like a large erector set where the only thing you need to do is just follow the plans and put them all together, and you could come up with something. I believe Darren Ganji of that on most of his YouTube videos, you can see his cockpit, and it is an 80/20 thing. But yeah, I'm kind of a little bit like Brad. If you're a little bit of a handyman type of thing, you can probably put together something out of wood and come up with your own things. But for a lot of people, the 80/20 stuff seems to work for them. So
Brad, you're a work in progress. You got the seat and you got kind of the base going, and
yeah, I've got well, to be honest with you right now, I've got 1/2-inch plywood held by clamps to my computer desk, and that's what I'm using right now. And I'm trying to figure out the height of my steering wheel, and I think I'm going to drop it about 2 inches. Still trying to figure out how to do that. And I've got my gear shift holder made to where that it's kind of down at seat level, kind of like a normal thing, instead of having it up high where I had it right at the side of the steering wheel.
a little more natural down there.
A little bit, kind of like driving my truck,
All right. Let's move on. The next item was a YouTube video that was put up by the Sim Pit, and we thank them for doing that, on an event, an open house that was held at CXC Simulations. And this is a company that makes high-end cockpits that do motion. And this open house, this video, I urge you to go find it. It's the Sim Pit channel, and it's called CXC Simulations Open House. But what's amazing is they have like this large warehouse area with, I believe it's 12 different motion rigs all set up and running at the same time. And they let everyone sit down and race each other. And it's just kind of a neat visual just to see all these, $40,000 rigs all running at the same time with these huge triple monitors. And boy, it's just a neat sight to see.
is that about how much it cost?
Yeah, crazy money for these things. We'll talk about that a little bit more on the next topic. But Carlos, hopefully you can show some of those pictures on your live Twitch for everybody.
Yeah, I'm going to pick one up tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, if money's not an object, you want to be talking to CXC Simulations for sure. Really neat event. I certainly would be interested in going to their open house. So check it out. The next topic I want to bring up is staying on the motion rig deal. Zach Davis from Chicago, a fellow iRacer, has got a deal on a used unit. Basically, it's all in one Got everything included. It's the Sim Experience Stage 5 rig. And if you know what that is, that's basically the competition to the company I mentioned a minute ago. And that's their premier product. And it's got 346s, it's got Sim Vibe, it's got the GS4 moving flappable seat thing, all kinds of stuff, fully loaded. It's based in Chicago right now at a museum, and it goes for $15,000 out the door, which is a really good price.
I'll get that. I'm close to Chicago. I'll take that one instead.
One of the posters on the thread added up what this stuff cost. Stage 5 is $22,500 new. GS4 $2,000. Sim Vibe $1,900. So basically, it's $26,400 worth of sim gear for $15,000. So if you want to go all out and you have $15,000, you should check out Zach Davis. Really good price. That you can't beat that.
All right.
My question would be, why is he selling it, and why is he selling it that cheap? I mean, is he going bigger, better? Or did he just not like it? Because I've seen some of them motion rigs, and I think it would almost mess with me a little bit, just having done this for so many years and knowing what I like and what I don't. It would take me a while to get used to moving.
This guy actually answers your question on the thread. He said the unit was downtown Chicago at a sports museum. Long story short is they have a restaurant staff running it, and it's not working out for them. They need something more mobile that they can move in and out. And so basically he's just acting as a liaison or something. I don't know if he's getting a cut or what, or he was involved in the original sale. I don't know, but he's trying to sell it for him.
All right.
All right. The next one up is, we talked about this last time, and I believe the time before when I got my brakes, but the Sim Experience AccuForce Pro wheel direct drive that we were kind of salivating over last week. There's actually a nice in-depth review up now by Inside Sim Racing TV. So if you go to their YouTube channel, you can get a closer look at the AccuForce Pro wheel. This was published July 23rd, and it's a fairly new review. And I certainly enjoyed looking at it, and pretty much kind of sold me on the product, even though I can't afford it. But boy, it sure looks nice.
What about Sim Racing Garage? They had one too about it, but that might have been before it was completely released.
Yeah, they had one, and they did a comparison with the Bodner wheel and OCW, which is a build your own wheel type of thing. And but yeah, if I had $1,800, I would probably to spend on a wheel, I'd probably get the AccuForce. And one thing about this video is that Darren kind of goes through all the software for it. And there's Sim Commander software, and that you can really set it up to exact precision on how you want your force feedback to feel based on the car and the track and that type of stuff. So
yeah,
it really looks like a nice wheel.
I was going to say, just like loading up a setup for your car when you go into a particular race or track, you also need to do the same thing with your wheel. You load up a particular, profile that has, okay, I'm on this car at this track, I can have this profile.
Yep. And it would be nice to actually load it in rather than what I think all of us do now is just kind of play with the force feedback and that type of stuff when we start practicing. So it would be nice to have some preset loads.
All right, moving on. I got another review of a motion cockpit by the Sim Pit this time. We're going back and forth with those guys, and they have on their YouTube a what's called the Top Speed, one word, motion simulator. And it's a newer company that's on the market that basically what I would call a low-end motion rig or a budget motion rig. The monitors don't move, but everything else does. It's $4,900, and it's basically, there's a center post that's kind of a pivot right in the middle, and then the entire rig is like pivoting on that, and it's got like hydraulic arms on the back part of it that kind of move it around. So interesting review. If you can't afford the $15,000 sim experience unit from Chicago, you can get this one for $4,900. There's quite a bit of differences though, and check it out if you're interested. I wasn't really impressed by this particular unit, though.
Yeah, before we get to the next topic, do you guys know anybody that has a motion rig?
Nope.
Crickets?
Nope. I don't.
All right.
We got to get somebody on here then that does. Obviously, they're out there. People. There's a industry here. Around it.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of surprised about that. I can understand if you're a big house, or something like that. Like for example, iRacing has that thing at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and I can understand on having those things. Or you remember those old places where you can go drive a NASCAR thing into a game, and you would get into this thing, it was like about a half a car. You guys ever remember that? Any kind of malls or anything?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is what this is for. Not necessarily for you sitting at home, but I know people get it. But this, to me, that's more for the bigger companies that would actually charge people to come in and do races and that kind of stuff. So, but I don't know anybody who has any of these things, and but it would be interesting to see or hear from people who do have these things sitting at their house.
Yeah. When we're looking at cockpits and rigs and stuff like that, that's a big decision. Are you going to go stationary or are you going to go motion? And that kind of is a big fork in the road right there. I think everybody in this room who's dealing with cockpits are obviously on stationary.
Yep. Everyone that I know that has a cockpit is a stationary cockpit. So.
Yep. The only thing moving in the cockpit is me.
Yep.
Okay, final topic is the Logitech G29. There's also another YouTube in-depth review out there on that. We've been talking about it for some time. Inside Sim Racing this time did it on July 18th. Nothing special there except one little tidbit of information. They did determine that the G27 gear shift is compatible with the Logitech G29 wheel.
Except the buttons.
Just the gear shift part of it. The buttons were not. The buttons would not work.
All right. So if you're looking to move up to the G29, well, luckily enough, there's plenty of buttons on the G29 to maybe make up for the losing the buttons on the gear. So
right.
On the shifter. So anyway, if you're looking to move up, that's a good piece of information for you. That should be our last topic, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Final thoughts time. Brad, any final thoughts for this show here?
Yeah, this was very interesting. I've listened to your other podcast and appreciate being on.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. Jose? Final thoughts?
No final thoughts. I just actually I do want to say that again, congratulations to all winners and 24 hours of Spa that just came up, and I hope that we can continue the upswing.
All right, Carlos, you got anything?
Oh, since last week you skipped me. Nah, I don't really got anything this time.
Skipped you on purpose. Mike, you got a final thought?
Yeah, like Jose said, kudos to the Spa 24 winners. That's really is a prestigious race to win. In my eyes, that's one of the big ones, to win at that particular track, and especially in a 24-hour race. So it certainly comes down as one of my most memorable wins. And then shout-outs, there are none. And that's because our audience isn't interacting with us. Hey guys, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. We're at iRacers Lounge. If you want to be on the show, let us know. Hey, you want to talk, bring up a certain topic? You want us to look at a piece of hardware, whatever, let us know.
All right, and for my final thought here is that I want to bring up something that Carlos has put out on his YouTube channel, which is Sim Racing Chewy which is a couple of tutorials on how to use OBS. And so his first tutorial is just about how to record locally and then get a video together so you can upload to YouTube. And his second tutorial is how to stream using OBS. So thank you, Carlos, for putting that up. Really appreciate that. It's a couple good videos if you're interested in recording or streaming or both. And so I encourage you all to go out there to Sim Racing Chewy's site and go take a look. Also let you know that it was only 1 week since our last show, but as you can tell that we've had many items that we've been passing over for our last couple shows, so we wanted to get to them. And so hopefully we'll be back on our every other week schedule here, and get back into having more guests and more loose discussions on these things. But that's it. I appreciate everyone listening and downloading and having your comments, and see you next time.
Later.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the iRacers Lounge podcast. Make sure to subscribe to us over on iTunes and Stitcher. See you on the track.